Okay, because my intention is that we are able to sort of build a model, arrive at some kind of idea on how to get it right when you're undertaking self study. Okay. By the way, I want to bust a big myth over here. Okay. And I want to discuss some of the models of preparation for a competitive exam. What are the models? People say that going to coaching, use coaching class is one model, studying on your own is another. Okay, these are the common paradigms that people have. But I would differ from this. Okay, I'll tell you why. Even if you're going to a coaching class, there are people who go to 3 or 4 coaching classes. Okay, there are people who prepare from a mix of often on their own and use the materials provided by coaching classes. Some people use the materials of another coaching class they obtained from a friend, right? And then they undertake self study. So there they have the benefit of materials of a coaching class, but they will study on their own. Some candidates rely entirely on a coaching class. Okay, what does this mean? This doesn't mean that they follow all the instructions of a coaching class. This means that they are completely dependent on the classroom training that they get or the materials that they get of the coaching class. Makes sense? These are various ways in which we prepare, right? And in self-study also, there are many variations. Some of us study through bare acts. Some of us try to keep up pace with what is being discussed in college, in the college syllabus. Some of us look at additional commentaries or dukis or books such as Bangia or Jhabwala. Okay, so there are varieties in which we prepare. Okay, now what I want to do right now is help you frame a model of preparation. Okay, so this conversation is not going to be about self study versus coaching class. Okay, because I'll tell you something, if for any successful candidate who has cracked the exam, self study has always been a part of it. A coaching class cannot make you crack the exam, right? But people benefit from coaching classes, and we'll discuss how that happens. So, for those of you who think that self study, uh, it's a self study versus a coaching class model, no, it's not. There is self study is always going to be there. What a coaching class may be able to do, okay, is make your self study more effective. Okay, it doesn't. Coaching class is not a luxury. It's not a luxury that makes life easier, because it doesn't reduce your 4.5 or 5,000 hours required to study for the judiciary exam. Okay, so I'm going to have a conversation with you. I'm not going to give you all the answers right now, and we will together arrive at the answers. Harshit, for you, it'll be important to identify what exactly is the area that that you're getting stuck at in the mains, and also identify whether you've been able to do a full diagnosis of it or not. Okay, which means that are you very sure that this was the gap in the mains, because it happened twice, right? So something didn't get done once, and this is exactly the one of the areas we face a challenge in when we are undertaking self study. Harshit is saying that I cracked the Delhi prelims twice but unable to crack the mains in the past 2 attempts. So now this is an example. Okay, so Harshit, now what you want to see is that whatever the diagnostic was probably the first time, that wasn't correct, which is why it repeated in the second attempt. So look at what could have been the gap, and also look at whether you have yourself accurately identified the gap. Okay, now so model, let's get back to what are the ways to prepare. The first way is it's always going to be self study. But what you want to look at is there a self study plus something else? Okay, now that plus I'm not going to decide for you, right? That is something that you have to take a call on. But we are going to discuss what are the challenges that you face while you are undertaking self study. Because without self study, it's basically like you have no responsibility for cracking the exam on your own. So that's never going to be happening, right? You're always going to be responsible for cracking the exam. So self study will never go away. Planning out your study means what? It's not about, so there is this law, right, that work expands to fill time. Okay, so I said 14 hours a day you want to put in. Now you just slot 12 or 14 hours in your calendar and study somehow or the other. That's not going to work, right? Your study plan is going to incorporate various aspects, right? Ranging from you will need to plan out all the exams you will attempt, all the state exams that you intend to attempt, and then you will need to look at their syllabi individually. You will need to focus on the paper pattern to identify the differences in the syllabi. and the differences in the way the questions are asked for the same subjects which exist in different states. So how Delhi judiciary may have questions from civil procedure code will be very different from a Rajasthan or a Himachal Pradesh or a UP judiciary. So you will need to plan that out. So this is not planning right now, you're not even begun planning, this is pre-planning stage, right? You are identifying that which are the what has come in the past, and you are basically collecting information to prepare your study plan. Okay, once the information is with you, then you will need to analyze it. Okay, you will need to analyze that what the trends were, what all I will need to prepare. You'll need to have all the syllabi in front of you. Then you will need to plan out a subject by subject preparation plan based on how many years you have to attempt the judiciary exam. Some of you will be giving it next year, some of you this year, some of you 3 years later, 2 years later. Okay, so you need to plan it out backwards. Now, you can't just plan it out forwards from today. You have to plan it backwards from the day that you are going to give the exam. This is where the challenge happens. Can somebody tell me what the challenge is here? You've not finished studying, you've not completed preparation. So your estimates of time may go haywire. You've not even attended law school more than once. You've not finished attending law school, some of you, right? If you're in college. So your estimates of your college commitments may go haywire. You may not be able to account for contingencies, emergencies. You may not account for internship breaks. Okay, so any mathematics that you perform here will be susceptible to a lot of difficulties and errors. Some people will go ahead and plan inaccurately, while others will while a lot of you will get too confused with the amount of things that you have to think about. Okay, and you will say, let's forget about it, let's just study 12 hours a day, whichever days I can do it, it's great, because after that I will say that I gave my best shot. Okay, now, that is exactly what you do not have to do right now, because till the time I am speaking to you, we are going to look at not what your personal best shot is, but we are going to look at how is your best shot, the shot required to crack the judiciary exam, right? So I'm always going to keep matching whether the effort you're putting in is going to be equivalent to what is actually necessary. So what do you need at this point when you're planning out your study? You will need to have somebody who has the benefit of hindsight, right? What is the benefit of hindsight? That somebody who has seen other people walk their college journey and prepare for judiciary exams, face the regular struggles of a college student, and preferably helped them overcome these also. Okay, because you want to measure that, okay, if you helped the students overcome this, what was your success rate, or how many people did you help through? Because if I'm going to use the benefit of your hindsight, I need to have that sense that you have successfully helped people move through this phase, right? So that's the part where you need help. Then the elaborateness of the plan is very important, because it doesn't start with a daily plan made today. It starts with the overall master plan, which ensures that if I put in this much effort every day and accomplish these daily goals for a period of whatever my study duration is, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 4 years, okay, in that time, or 5 years, in that time, I will complete this. Okay, so there would be subject wise breakdowns, there would be phase wise prelims, mains, interview stage breakdowns, um, there would be monthly, weekly, daily, quarterly, these kind of breakdowns. Okay, because so all the time what's happening, you are actually, it's like being the CEO of a big business. You are basically weighing multiple plans together, seeing how they align. It's not one document, it's like 3 4 things that come together. Okay, so you are mapping your subject wise plan to your daily study plan. Okay, now if you're doing this on a daily basis, this exercise doing on your own will take you a good 1.5 2 hours. Okay, and I can tell you how difficult it is to plan. Like for most of you, when I first started planning my day on my Google Calendar, I could not plan for the next day also accurately. Okay, and what do most people do when this doesn't happen? I face struggles with having to not with not being able to stick with my plan, and ultimately I gave up the idea of planning at completely. Okay, and this was when I was running a business 5 years back, 4 years back, 3 years back. Okay, but as I kept coming back to my plan, the way I could plan and stick to my plan started improving. But it took me quite a few years to start doing that. Even today, my planning is not perfect. I always benefit from somebody who can give me insights on how to plan.